Hi, guys. How's it going? Welcome to the OSA podcast presented by sfbnri.com, SFBNRI on YouTube and Facebook, as well as Instagram. Thank you to them for making this happen and having another great show. Tonight, we have Michael Socia from Bishop Hendricken High School, as well as Matthew Zanini from Cranston High School West. With you, as always, is your host, Chris Carbone Jr., With me later on will be Nico Minelli, who is sadly running a little late from work, but that won't delay any of this. We will get right into things. And some big news this upcoming week for RI high school sports and all sports in general is the start of the alleged fourth season is we're getting detail on as football is upon us. Football is back in the high school level. Practices just getting underway. If not currently, will be in the next 1 or 2 weeks. That period will run for 6 weeks going into the end of April, I believe. Yep, the end of April, early May will be football going on at our level. Division 1, 2, and 3 will all have a 6-week season with the playoffs as well as Super Bowls and everything else. So that's big news. That's awesome to see Rhode Island football a little different, being played in the spring rather than having it in the usual fall. But we can get what we get. I mean, at least we have something going good for us, as well as some more spring sports news. Spring sports being pushed back to April 26th in Rhode Island. That includes lacrosse, softball, baseball, track and field, boys volleyball, as well as girls, I believe, and tennis will all be going and start April 26th, and that will go all the way until the latest being June 30th. June 30th, the latest it can run to. Playoffs will start June 14th. So being someone that does play spring sports, playing lacrosse, and also a lot of my friends who play, it's awesome that we will be getting a season this year, as last year we were without a season completely. We didn't even get to have a tryout. I mean, that was very unfortunate. So at least we get something positive, just like how football is. Shortened season, but we will still get a lot of games in, as I believe that for a lacrosse point of view, I think they can still fit in 14 games like they usually. Baseball, I agree, because baseball plays a lot of double headers and which not. So hopefully we'll be able to get in the correct amount of games as we usually. And moving over to Rhode Island high school hockey. Talk of the state has been Rhode Island high school hockey for sports so far. And if you are new to the Instagram, make sure you follow ri.hockey. It should be right there on the screen. Make sure you follow them on Instagram. That is an account run by me and my buddy Michael Socia, updating all fans over the state on scores, behind the scenes, players of the week, stats, videos, anything imaginable. Score updates from the stadium, from the rink. We're always at the games, recording, doing something. So being there, being able to be a part of such a good team, working with Mike Socia, who's taught me a lot, is great. But RI high school hockey, Division 1 especially, is wide open, especially getting news that the first round of the playoffs will be single elimination. So the chances of seeing a bottom half team, maybe a 7 or an 8 seed, upsetting a 1 or a 2, very high, as the next round after, however, will be best of 3, and then so on and so forth. First round is single elimination. So for some of these bottom teams that, may right now think like, oh, there's no way they have a shot. Boom. One game. I've seen plenty of teams almost beat some of the best teams. We saw Cumberland almost upset Mount St. Charles. They only lost by 1. We've seen Mount St. Charles, Hendricken, and as well as Burrillville tested by some of the bottom pack teams, and that's the effect that playoff hockey will also have. Is a whole different game, a whole different feeling for some of these teams. I know some of these bottom half teams, being EG and Cumberland, yes, have not been there for the Division One playoffs, but have a lot of playoff experience, as well as for the big dogs such as Moses Brown. I mean, not Moses Brown, Mount St. Charles and Hendricken and LaSalle. All of them, LaSalle as well in that mix. They all have the playoff experience as well. So that's why I'm saying that this year, especially Division One, is wide open. There's no clear favorites this year. I mean, in past years, you'd be like, oh, yeah, it's easily Hendricken or it's easily Mount St. Charles. No, this year, we have seen Mount St. Charles tested. But, however, enough criticism towards Moses Brown. They're the 1 seed, number 1 on my rank, as I think it should be on everyone's number 1 rank, as they're sitting at 7-0-1, 7 wins, no losses. And that one tie to Hendricken earlier in the season, that was a great game. I'm sure that ended in a 1-1 tie, to be exact. But looking at the rankings, we see Mount St. Charles, like I was saying, at the number 1 spot. Number 2 has been a team that has been getting hate all year for their just not able to finish at the end in Hendricken, as they have went on an absolute tear the past week and a half. Here they are sitting at the number 2 rank, and they are not looking to stop, as they have been on fire, winning the last 4 straight. 2-1 Smithfield, 3-1 Burrillville, 3-2 LaSalle, 3-1 EG. Those are all great scores as well. As also to mention that in those last 4 wins, 5 goals against for the Hawks. 5 goals against in 4 games is outstanding. Goalie Drew Carr standing on his head, as we see him coming up big, especially a lot of other names. There's so many names on that Hendricken team, such as Matt Moretti, who's been doing great as well. Players all over the place, just putting the puck in the net and just beating some very good hockey teams, as we saw a great game against LaSalle. EG was a chippy one coming down to the 3rd period. So that's why Hendricken is my number 2 spot. Number 3 spot is going to be Burrillville, who has had a little bit of trouble recently, as they lost to Hendricken and tied one of the best games I was able to watch and be part of in that Burrillville game, as I was watching that live on SFBN RI on YouTube. 0-0 tie, some great goaltending by Hundley in net. Had one of the best saves I have ever seen, with an absolute beautiful kick save in overtime to basically save the game, as it looked like Smithfield had a wide open shot around the net, and just a great save by the goaltender. Keeping it alive, so they're sitting at 4-2-2, coming down to the final couple of games. 4 spot, LaSalle Rams, 4-2-1 on the year. They're looking very good as well. Tough fall to Hendricken, where they were defeated. However, they came back and redeemed themselves with a convincing win over Barrington, as well as a good, solid win over Moses Brown. Moses Brown team is a very tough team. We've seen that in games. But LaSalle, they laid it onto them, as they finished that game with a score of 3-1. That one ended in regulation. That one I was there to be a part of as well, which is also just amazing to be able to just see all these Division I teams, as we also had Michael Boulard getting the 2-star of the week. Also for Hendricken, 1-star of the week was Drew Carr in net, but Mike Boulard was able to put in 2 in that game. So he's been playing great so far. He's making a great run at being one of the best players in the state at the Division I level. He's been on fire recently. 5 spot is going to be Barrington Eagles, currently now sitting at 3-4-1. Had a very hot start, dropping 3 straight. However, need to get themselves back to where they were, which I think they can, which they have great goal scoring ability. And right there they lost, however, a close one to Burrillville. Very shocking game to Cumberland, as they ended up dropping 6-0. That's also something I'd like to mention later on in the show. And then they dropped the one to LaSalle. Another great team, though, come down the stretch, could upset. That's another one of those wire teams that just get hot. And we've seen it. Like they've had games where they've played good. They beat Hendrick in overtime. Some other notable game that they've played is they've beaten Smithfield. And I mean, yeah, they can play. I mean, there's no question about that. Smithfield now setting at 2-3-2 at my 6th spot. Has also been slowing down a little recently. However, I know with that senior class and the strength that they have, and they'll just go out there and hit you with no regard. They can play as well, and they're a very gritty hockey team, as they proved it, only losing to Hendricken by 1. That was a 2-1 final, and they tied LaSalle and they tied Burrillville. So they have been in close games with the 2, 3, and 4 seeds sitting right now at the Division I level. So Sentinel team is another surprising team that can definitely shock a team and make a run at the title. Sitting now at the 7, we have a new team to the Division I. We have East Greenwich 2-4-2 on the year. Just picked up a win against Prout. They're having a little bit of an up and down year, but a lot of great freshman play by Omicelli and Walsh, 2 of the best freshmen in the state. Just going out there, as we saw Walsh put one in against Hendricken the other night. So, yeah, those 2 freshmen have been lighting it up, as well as a lot of notable names on that EG roster. Number 8, we have Cumberland Clippers, who are sitting at 2-5-0 right now. A little bit of a slower start, as they have Winston Moses Brown in that upsetting win against Barrington, where they put 6 on the Eagles. 6-0. They won that game. Jared Johnson with the shutout in that one. That was a great game, as the Clippers were absolutely electric for that one. So Eagles went into that one with a high head, thinking Cumberland's a lesser team, and they definitely proved them wrong, as, like I said, Jared Johnson with a shutout, 6-0 in regulation. That one ended. Moses Brown at the 9. Moses Brown is one of those teams that I was mentioning that they're squeaking to hopefully get into the playoffs right now, as they're sitting at the 8 or 9 spot right now in the standings, 9 on my rankings list. 1-5-2, not the record they were looking at the beginning of the year, but they have hung with a lot of very good hockey teams, as a team that only is losing 2 seniors, being Cam Bernard and Noah Silverman, led by a lot of sophomores and a lot of freshmen. So, I mean, they're going to keep that good core group for another 2 years. So they get 2 more years to play with each other. Hank Alessandro, Max Travers, Camden Lucier, DJ Plant, both those goaltenders are having pretty solid underclass campaigns so far. So seeing them together, both splitting time in net, both playing pretty well, as they have stuck with a lot of good teams. LaSalle was only a 3-1 game. Cumberland, they lost with only a 4-3 game. Burrillville was 4-2. Barrington, they tied. So they have lots of chances to do good and upset one of these upper teams. So, I mean, Moses Brown is one of those teams to watch. And the final spot is Prout at 2-5. Notable wins being Cumberland and Moses Brown. Prout is out, however, of the playoff run, but they're another team just like Moses Brown that is a very young team with not a lot of graduating, as they only graduated 4 seniors from both Prout and Scituate, which they co-op with. So seeing that team, I mean, Prout's got a very good defense. I mean, losing their goaltender that's very unfortunate, but they still have a very young defense. And I mean, that's really it. So close out D1, Mount St. Charles, Hendricken, Burrillville, LaSalle, Barrington, Smithfield, E.G., Cumberland, Moses Brown, and Prout. That's my top 10 rank. I will put the picture on the screen right now to take another look. And we come into the Division II rankings coming into the middle of this week. We have Cranston West sitting at number 1, Warwick at 2, RMR at 3, PSW at 4, and North Kingston at 5. Cranston West having a great dominant year, being led by point scorer in the whole entire state, and Andrew Martin making a campaign at Player of the Year, having a great year, great goaltending by both Carenti and Silva in net. Warwick also answering with a great year as well, also undefeated, both tied, and that was against each other in a 6-6 brawl at Thayer last weekend. That was a great game to be a part of as well. RMR is another very good hockey team, as they only dropped to West 4-3, as West had 4 unanswered that game. So if RMR is able to close that game out a little stronger, they could walk out of there with an upset, and this whole rankings would be a lot different. PSW at the 4 spot, currently having a great year. I believe either 0 or 1 loss on the year. Yes, I guess people will say a lesser conference in the division, as they haven't played some of the other top teams, but they're having a great season as well, being led by senior captain Hunter Parker, leading things for them. And we also have North Kingston at the 5 spot. It was a tough decision between North Kingston, North Smithfield, and Tollgate. However, I like the amount of goals scored by North Kingston. North Kingston knows how to put the puck in the net. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw a North Kingston game. They know how to put the puck in the net, and they know how to score from everywhere. Blue line, front of the net, cross crease, it doesn't matter. They score. However, they did just drop to Warwick 6-0 in regulation. That game ended. So unless North Kingston can have a strong up-and-coming week, North Kingston may be dropping out of the top 5, and we could see possibly North Smithfield or Lincoln jumping in, as Ethan Coate for North Smithfield got our 3-star player of the week. So that is it for the Carbone RIIL Division 1 and Division 2 hockey boys hockey rankings. And we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we will bring out our first guest. All right, and we are back. Thank you for tuning in. SFBNRI.com, SFBNRI on YouTube. If you're watching this on Facebook, I'll see some people watching on Twitch, so that is good to see. Hope you guys are all enjoying a nice night, because I am, and we're going to make this a lot better, as we are going to bring on junior from Bishop Hendricken, Michael Socia, to the call. How's it going,
Chris.
Mike?
Hello.
All right.
For having me.
No problem, man. So how's it going, man? I mean, dealing with all this COVID and whatnot, hockey season, what's been up?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely been a sprint this whole season. It's not been easy. I mean, every game's a 100% sprint, if not more. And losing a few games early in the beginning really put a little stop in that. But we're just putting the foot on the gas for the rest of the season, and we're ready to go. Excuse me.
That's good to see, as you guys are currently right now are sitting at 5-2-1, winning the last 4 straight, making a big push for the playoffs. As talking about the team's looking great. I've covered a lot of games. What's your thoughts so far?
Yeah, I mean, we have 4 solid lines of players. I mean, only having 3 lines on the bench really hurts us a little. But we have 4 lines of players that can play D1 hockey in Rhode Island, and we're utilizing everybody. I mean, we have freshmen that are putting the puck in the net, and we have big players that are coming up in big for us in big games. So that's good for us.
That's
and
good.
Then we also have Drew Carr in the back end playing outstanding recently, really helping us stay in some games and really helping us win games.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. 5 goals against in 4 games is a pretty good stat to have going into the past next couple of games. So yeah, talk to me about the importance of having such a good goaltender come the end of the year and come to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, you really just circle around your goalie. I mean, like when your goalie's not playing well, you really just got to go down, block shots. You got to do the little things and get more pucks in deep, and there's the other team's zone, and just make it harder for them to score. But I mean, Drew's been making life easier for us, and he's really been making the season a lot easier for us as he's been keeping us in big games and making some great saves for us in the back end.
That is true, as we have seen you guys come up big in big games this year. 2 notable ones is Burrillville 3-1 and LaSalle 3-2. How did it feel taking home that cup and finally getting that sweet win over LaSalle?
I mean, yeah, I've never beaten LaSalle in my life until then. I've tied them, but I've always lost to them. So I mean, every game you just want to beat LaSalle. Every season you want to beat LaSalle. So I mean, it felt pretty good to beat them, but I mean, we still have more work to do, and we're not ready to stop.
That's good to hear as playoff hockey is coming around. You guys sitting at the 2 seed. And I was talking in the show earlier about the importance of round one, as round one is only being single elimination, so no room for mistakes. How does that change like the whole hockey playoffs instead of it being best of 3, being it only a single elimination for round one?
I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, we've been playing playoff hockey since the puck dropped at the beginning of the season. I mean, the season's so short; every game matters. I mean, we dropped a few couple ones, but um, when the puck drops to the playoffs, I mean, it's even more of a sprint. It's even more of a grind. Your body's gonna be in rough shape. I mean, you just got to keep going and just pray for the end where you can host that RILL championship there.
Yeah, that is the goal for all 10 teams in the Division 1 level. Now, looking at all the scores of your games so far this year, one big thing that people were saying is that Hendricken is dropping games. However, you guys have yet to lose in regulation, and that's huge. As some things change on overtime period, some ways fall in a different way. You guys are sitting at 7-0-1, competing with the 1 seed. So I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I
pretty
mean,
important.
Yeah, I mean, playing one goal games. I mean, we definitely got to put more pucks in the net. I mean, we got to get more shots in the net and everything. But I mean, we're competing in every game, which is really big for us, and we're getting points out every game, which is really going to help us in the end. It is now the end. So I mean, we're really starting to see it play out.
Yeah, if you are going to lose a game, better it be an overtime game, as overtime game is still getting a single point rather than getting no points. And yeah, I mean, you guys, I mean, the 2 games that you dropped, Barrington, which I heard was a heartbreaker, as ended up being a breakaway goal, as well as Moses Brown being a heartbreaker, being a score by Moses Brown with only a couple seconds left. Being in those games and being in those moments, how does that feel? And how does that like teach you, and like those lessons learned from those overtime losses bring you towards the playoffs and puts a new fire under you?
Well, yeah, you just never can look back. I mean, you got to just keep looking forward. You got to go to practice that Monday and just keep working. I mean, nobody wants to sit back and look at a loss and just sit on it. I mean, you just got to keep working, keep your gut legs going, and just get ready for that next game because that next game is always so important.
That's true. You got to take every game like it's a blackboard and just erase it every time, every game, every win or loss. Can't get too cocky, as I know talking to some of the guys on the team, you guys are far from cocky, as you guys take even the biggest win as a awesome, cool, ready for next week, which I think is a great mentality to have going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, we played 4 games in like a few days. I mean, we're doubling our season in a week and a half. We're playing an insane amount of games in an insane amount of days. So I mean, we have no time to sit on a win. We have to keep going to the next one. We have to prepare our bodies even better. We have to take care of our bodies, yeah, and just keep getting ready for that next game, whatever it is.
That's good. And now, when are your games this upcoming week?
I believe we go Tuesday. I'm not sure. I mean, it all depends on the standings. That there's still some games to be played out to decide seeding and everything, but that's about it.
So yeah, so your remaining teams, what remaining teams you have to play so far in the year?
Just Cumberland.
Just Cumberland. So Cumberland, there's an example of one of those teams that is a gritty hockey team that knows the game. As I mean, difference between D2 and D1. However, they've been in big games before, and that's one of those teams that has a real shot where they have a good game, just like how we saw how they defeated Barrington 6-0. So that's gonna be another great game. That's led by a lot of young players as well. But talking into playoffs, I mean, Hendricken's been there before. I mean, how's it going to feel to step on the ice for a Division I high school playoff game?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be fun. I mean, I've never experienced playoffs before. A few guys on our team have. I mean, we're really going to be looking forward to our two captains in Harry Giuliano and Nate Palumbo. If they know what it takes to win a state championship, they've been there before. So we're going to be really looking towards them. But, I mean, we have a solid group of guys, and we know what it takes to win, and we know what it takes to just take it to the next level, and that's what we're going to need at every single game, every single shift, and every single opportunity we get.
That's good. That's good. I mean, you guys are having a great year, Hawks. I mean, I wish the best of luck for all you guys. Now, let's take it back down to your youth. So now, when was the first time you ever picked up a stick or put on a pair of skates and hopped on the ice?
So I've been a hockey player since I was born. I put on skates when I was first 3. I mean, I was 2 when my dad won his first state championship as the assistant coach for Hendricken. So I've always been a Hawk. Something I've always looked forward for is putting that BH on my chest, and it's finally here. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. So now, what are some of the programs that you played for growing up?
I played for Edgewood, the Capitals for a year, the Friars, and Providence Hockey Club.
How was playing for some of those teams like when you were younger? How has that prepared you for where you are now in the big leagues at Bishop Hendricken?
Yeah, I mean, you always. I mean, I was never on the top teams. I was always mediocre teams. So I mean, I learned the game. I wasn't playing with the top level kids, but I was able to learn the game and see the game in a better way that and learn the game better than some other kids and see the game before my eyes play out, and that's really helped me grow my IQ and knowledge for the game. Whereas playing for Providence Hockey Club a few years ago, we went to the national championships, and that was one of the greatest hockey experiences I had in my life, just being there in nationals in South Bend at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I definitely know you know your hockey as you've helped me out a lot recently. Also running the account. If you're not following RI Hockey on Instagram, that is run by me and Soscia. I had to throw a quick plug in, but we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to finish up the last couple of segments here. All right, and we are back, and joining us on the show, coming in from work, we have Nico Minelli. How's it going, buddy?
What's going on, Mike? Thanks for joining us. Sorry I'm late. Running late from work.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
So yeah, touching up a little bit more on where you started. What were some of the different coaches that helped you get to where you are playing at such a prestigious high school?
Well, first, I mean, I know I'll get a little hate for this, but my dad has really helped me take my game to the next level. I mean, he's been with me every single step of the way. He's really helped me through a lot of hockey and just getting through life. So I definitely got to thank him. I had Coach Giuliano. He's helped me a lot. He's been a coach for a little while of mine. Coach Giusti, he coaches Moses Brown now. He coached me for a year. He's a great guy. And then Coach Bono. And this year, he coached my half-season team. He's a great guy. Helped me through hockey a little bit. Taught us a few things. Really helped me in the gym. And then I had Coach Ryan Perry. He coached my whole Pilots baseball team for a few years. And he's just really helped me grow as a person. he coaches now with me at Hendricken. And then last one is Ant Simeone. He's a great guy. I still talk to him today. He's a great person, and he's helped me through not just hockey but baseball. So those are some of the coaches that stick out.
That's awesome, man. I mean, seeing a lot of names, seeing also a lot of familiar names as well. And touching up on baseball, how was that growing up, also playing hockey?
I mean, it never really interfered. I was always a two-sport athlete. I always, like, when hockey season stopped, I'd pick up CWLL. Baseball was always just like a hobby for me. I never really like took it too seriously, but whenever I took the step on the field, it was serious. So just like every other athlete. So that was and then I stopped playing baseball, and after my 8th grade year, I picked up golf.
Nice.
Oh, that's good. I know Nico's a big golf guy. Nico likes to hop up on the green
Yeah,
occasionally.
if it wasn't in the springtime, definitely I'd be playing. I'm trying to get out there, get a couple lessons in, trying to learn more about the game. But Mike, I know it's probably a little early, but any plans after high school? You looking to take your hockey career to like the next level?
Yeah, so I really want. I've always wanted to play college hockey. I mean, I don't want to play NCAA. Club hockey is what I've been looking at. That seems like the best option for me, as it's focus on college, academics, college life, and sports. So that's where I really want to take my game. Hockey's at this point. I mean, I love the game to death. It's given me so much, but I know it's the end. The end is coming near. So that's really what I want to do with it: play college hockey.
I got you. It's a smart answer.
Yeah, that is good. I mean, I've seen plenty of kids, especially even come onto the show, such as Zach Mongo, who was on the show recently. I know you're watching right now, where he was another one of those kids saying that, like, yes, like the game that he plays lacrosse, yes, it means a lot to him, but at the same time, he wants to settle down and focus on his career, and that's why club's always a great option, as you can still play the game you love, but also focus on what's really important, which is your academics and your schooling.
Yeah, I mean, it a little hurts me to say it, but it always, there's an end for everything. So I mean, I always want to stick around the game, whether it's coaching, whether it's being in the front office of a team, or whether it's something. It's the game. It's a great game, and I love to be around it my whole life. I mean, it's just something that you always want to be a part of.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better than myself. I mean, like, I'm coming down to my next couple of years. I mean, I just had to hang up the cleats for football a little bit ago. I mean, that was tough to do. I was playing that my whole life. And now, I mean, even doing something small like this, I mean, still staying connected with Rhode Island sports, and if any sports, whatever it is, I mean, at least we're still doing something with it. If we're not playing, we're watching, announcing, reporting, doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I hope one day I could like coach with my dad at Hendricken. That'd be really cool. But there's a will. If there's a will, there's a way, and everything happens for a reason. So
definitely.
So yeah, I mean, that was good. I'd like to thank you, Michael, for coming onto the show, and I'd also like to wish you, as well as your entire Hendricken team, good luck on the rest of the season. I know I'll be there watching games, so make sure you go out there and put on a good show for all of us watching.
I will. Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, Mike, thanks for having us. I wish I could have talked to you a little more. It's sad about work, but maybe we'll definitely cross paths somewhere in the future. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, and now we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we will bring on our last guest.
All right. Thank you for tuning into the Ocean State Athlete Podcast, OSA podcast presented by SFBNRI. I'm Nico Minelli. That's my good buddy, Chris Carbone Jr. We are the hosts of this show, and we are here to showcase some of the state's best athletes on and off their field and get a little insight about the game that they love. Chris, what do we have going next?
So right now we're going to be bringing on senior defenseman from Cranston High School West lacrosse team, Matthew Zanini. I'd like to welcome him onto the show.
How's it going, guys? Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Matt, especially for joining all the way on your vacation in Florida.
Yeah,
How's the weather?
It's cold. I mean, I'm wearing a hoodie right now. It's not really Florida weather. We're more up north in the Panhandle, but it's been nice to get away from a little roadie. But it's been good so far.
That's good. That's good. So yeah, talk to me, Matt. I mean, what's been going on? How's life been recently, dealing with COVID and dealing with sports and whatnot?
Obviously I've seen you guys. I mean, I haven't really been doing much with COVID and all, but we have captain's practices Sunday nights. But I mean, we get our work in. The freshmen especially. They're ready to work, and I'm excited for this season.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. A good season it will be, as we are closing out with a lot of seniors for our last run. So How does that feel, going out as a senior, knowing that we have a season this year and not have to dwell about, do we have it, do we not? April 26th is the confirmed date. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I remember last year, always, hoping that, they would just push it off a week, another week, we were, keeping that hope up. But this year, now knowing that we have a set date and we're going to get to play, I think it's like, lights a fire under our ass, make sure we're prepared, get ready to go. Because obviously it's going to be a shorter season with, them trying to fit in football and, other sports and stuff like that. But I'm sure we're all excited and ready to get going.
Yeah, definitely. And Matt, why don't you share your insight about how does the team look this year? How do you think judging just on captain's practices and the younger guys stepping up, you have high hopes this year?
No, I'm excited for this year. I know, this year we're a very senior heavy team, but I feel like there's gonna be a good impact on, especially the underclassmen. Some of the the freshmen, I know they're gonna have a big impact. But I think we have a solid core with the upperclassmen. But I'm expecting, some of the freshmen, maybe some sophomores to chip in. I think we're gonna have a good year. I'm ready to make a run.
Definitely.
It's good to see. That's the goal at the end of the day, make a run. And I mean, that's the mentality. I mean, we got the kids to have it. We got the chemistry. That's one thing.
Right.
That West team, they may not have the skill like that they used to have, but sure do have the chemistry, as all of us have been playing together since we were little.
Right.
And seeing that with with everything going on, I mean, how does having a big senior team, I mean, how's that feel? I mean, to really be like an impact on some of these younger kids.
Right. Well, I mean, I know we're going to pass down our skill set and our knowledge to the underclassmen, but I think also, our experience as seniors, I think it's going to take us really far. Maybe hopefully we'll make a run in the playoffs. But I just think that, all our insight, all our experiences, it's going to carry not only onto the freshmen, but, hopefully they'll pass it on, tips, little tricks, tidbits of knowledge, and I think it'll help us and help them in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And Matt, and when you get out there on the field right now with captain's practice, or whether it's filling in at Roots Lacrosse on Monday nights, playing with masks, was it as worse than you thought? Is it all right playing with them? How do you feel about playing with them on?
Honestly, I don't really feel a difference. Once I get sweaty, or when I don't shave, it gets a little annoying. But I mean, there's no real difference in breathing. Like, I'm not finding myself getting tired earlier or anything like that. It's just it's just a little annoying. But I mean, if that's what we have to do to get out there and play, you'll definitely see me wearing a mask.
Good. I mean, that's good to see. I mean, we've had a couple different kids saying it affects them. Some of the hockey kids saying that it makes their line shorter. But if you can't feel a difference, I mean, that's just props to you. I mean, that makes it that much better.
Right.
So yeah, also taking it back to younger. I mean, some of the younger that you've done, like where did lacrosse start for you?
Well, actually with Nico, I remember, going over his house, we're good friends, and, just going out in the front yard, and having him, because he started before me. And I remember just, picking up a lacrosse stick with them, just fooling around. I don't really remember when I started. I think it was 7th grade, around there.
Yeah, 7th grade. I think
yeah,
so.
And but I mean, it all started picking up a stick with Nico in his front yard, fooling around. And then by that time, I've played a bunch of different sports. I played basketball, football, baseball. But at that point, I wasn't playing any spring sports. And then Nico, nudging me to, go for lacrosse, and I've been playing since then.
Mm-hmm. And Matt, and how do you think playing other sports, or actually, you want to walk everybody through what you have played in the past first?
Yeah, so I mentioned that I played basketball. I've been, it's been a part of my life for, forever. I played that all growing up. I played football on and off. I remember playing CLCF for a little while when I was a kid, and then I played freshman year again, freshman football. I played CWLL baseball and now lacrosse.
Mm-hmm. And Matt, how do you say, well, focusing on lacrosse, obviously, how do you say that definitely starting in like middle school, how has that helped you like all the way now? Like, of course, you have better knowledge, better understanding of the game, obviously, know how to handle your stick better.
Right. I mean, it's easy, it comes easy to us now, starting when you're really young. You try and get your friends interested in the sport, and it's frustrating for them, because they want to make the team with their friends, but it's frustrating when they don't have the skill set, the passing, the basic passing and catching, right? Mm-hmm. So it's good that we started at a young age, and now more than ever, lacrosse. I mean, it wasn't a household name when I was a kid, but I'm sure now, like, a lot of younger kids are, on the fence of playing lacrosse or baseball or whatnot in the spring. But I think having that skill set early, and in my playing days, it really helped. I didn't want to I'm not behind the ball or anything like that. So it's really helped.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, how is I know like such like a demanding sport, and we've seen different kids in the past. I even just played football for a year or two on the show, saying that football and just playing football did like a big toll on them, and like really it meant to them more than just playing a sport. I mean, what's your thought on that?
Right. It was the lessons and the brotherhood we formed the freshman year. I remember, all of our friend group, people we might not talk to, but like we built a brotherhood that year in freshman year. And it was just all the lessons. We had, Coach Brian Stetson, who I had at CLCF. I was younger, but him coming back to coach, all my buddies and all the life lessons I probably would have learned on that field. It was a good experience, and one I'll remember forever.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. As I know, as well as me and Nico, that football really, even though we're not playing right now, still has a big effect on us and still holds a place in our heart. And that brings me into after high school. What's your goals for after high school?
Mainly going to be focused on school. I know you're committed. I'm not sure if Nico's looking to play, but mainly just focusing on school. If the school I do end up going to has a club team, I'm sure I'll try out for that. But I'm not looking to go commit and play anywhere or anything like that. I'm just, mainly going to focus on school.
Mm-hmm. Which is nothing wrong, as
right.
Club is a great option. As we saw earlier, Mike Socia saying that he'd love to play college lacrosse, but at the same time, he'd rather focus on schooling, as well as Zach Mongo, a little back, saying the same thing, that he wants to go and play a club team. That's why club is very good. And say for even some of these local schools like URI still has a very great lacrosse program.
Yeah, right. They have a great, club lacrosse team. And, you might not go anywhere after that, but I mean, it's just good to, you don't want it to end in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You're always gonna have that, that desire to play, the will to play. Even if it's just, going out there once or twice a week on, on a club team and having some scrimmages or some games, I'm sure I'll be into that.
Mm-hmm. And Matt, when you say focusing more on the academic aspect of college, you're definitely probably the smartest, most school savvy person I've met so far. What are your college options? What are you aiming for towards a career? What are you leaning towards?
I'm leaning towards engineering. I'm not sure right now. I've got into all my schools, fingers crossed, but very excited about getting into all of them. Now my options open. Most of them are local. I'm not sure if I want to stay in state, out of state, but all of them are pretty close to home, Mass, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
But focus on engineering. Not sure what type yet, but at least I narrowed it down a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good to see, especially coming down to, which is crazy to say. I mean, going to be graduating soon, applying everywhere else, and then going on. And that brings me down to the end of the year. Seeing that we do have the April 26th start date, how does it feel, even though it's shorted, to at least just get out there one last time?
No, it feels amazing. I've been best friends with you guys since elementary school. It sucks that we got gypped of one of our upperclassmen years being our junior season, but it's unfortunate for those guys last year to not get a senior season. I'm just happy that even though it's short and we're getting a senior season, we're going to be able to get out there, just go have some fun, even if it doesn't, in the way we want to. I'm just be happy that we didn't get gypped of our last year in high school.
And one of the most important aspects that every kid growing up dreams of is their senior night. How
exactly.
How important is a senior night to you?
Hopefully there won't be too much limitations on, fans and whatnot, but I'm just excited to get my family out there. Hopefully some friends will come, I'm sure, but it means a lot. You put in all the hard work and dedication all 4 years, and just, to be appreciated for one special night. That'll be something I'm looking forward to.
Right.
Yeah, I've covered numerous senior nights so far. If it wasn't for basketball or it was for hockey, and just seeing the excitement and just like the smiles on the kids' faces. I mean, one of the highlights of every high school career.
Right.
A lot of senior nights too. You just want on your senior night, you just want to work that much harder. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It'll give you a little bit of fire.
Exactly. The night that you're going to be walking your family out with you on the field, the people who matter most to you are right by your side, playing in front. Hopefully playing in front of a few of your buddies from school. But yeah, very important night.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and seeing that, I mean, just like I always said, playing hopefully in front of a few buddies, as we're thinking. I mean, hopefully lacrosse being an outdoor sport, maybe having some couple fans at some of the games, as we've seen for the soccer game. Actually, there's been for the soccer season, I know all over the state that they weren't really that strict on the whole no fans thing. As for a little bit when we were in that lockdown, there were no fans. But I remember at the beginning of the season, even watching some games online or broadcasting games myself, I remember seeing multiple fans, and I remember even going to some of the Cranston West games. And especially being that lacrosse is a growing sport every year, I mean, we'll definitely be able to see some people.
Yeah, my girlfriend plays soccer. One of my best friends plays, boys soccer, and I went to a lot of their games, in the fall. And I'm sure there was some empty seats in the stands, but there was a good atmosphere there. The parents just being able to cheer on some of my friends in their senior year. But I'm sure there'll be, hopefully, not too many limitations, but I'm sure there'll be some people in the stands cheering us on this spring.
And now, what's the difference from you playing with a packed crowd compared to having no fans in the stands?
That's tough to say. Everyone, some people get really locked in, focused into a game. I'm more on that side. Some people like to soak it all in. But I mean, just knowing that, I'll have family, friends there just cheering me on, I'm sure it'll have an impact on me. But, I'm more locked in and focused on the game. And, if I could see them before or after the game, that's great. But, once, the whistle blows, I'm more locked in and not really, focused on that type of stuff.
It's a good response, as we've seen some people say, oh, I love the crowd. The crowd affects me in so many ways. It gives me a different boost and energy. Some people are more locked in. I mean, what's your thoughts on the whole energy aspect? Right.
I mean, home, we haven't really seen that much of a, home field advantage, but, hopefully for spring being outdoors, those big important games later in the season, I'm sure if we're making a playoff run, hopefully we get, the stands packed, and it'll actually mean something to have a home field advantage, And, that affects a lot of players, just, after a goal, hearing everybody cheer you on, that just, gives you more energy, more drive to keep going, keep doing good,
Yeah. And Matt, earlier this week, I've understood that you took up a gig with SFBN writing about the Providence College men's basketball team, which all of us that know you know that you've had a long line with family and a whole lot of memories with Providence College. Do you want to walk us down a little thing, like a little something? Tell us a little something about your history with Providence College and everything.
Man, it's a long history.
I
My
believe
dad
it.
worked for PC. Yeah, my dad worked for PC men's basketball. So, I've been going to games ever since I was an infant. PC means a lot to me. Even though I might be going to URI, for college, PC basketball. I mean, it's so important to me. I've been going to games forever, and Chris and SFBNRI has given me the opportunity to write about them. I'm just so passionate about the team, everything about them. I lead black and white. So I love PC.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's very easy for you to write about something that you're so passionate about.
Right. I mean, just knowing them, having such a passion for watching them and everything like that, it just makes it so easy. The words come to you. You understand what's going on. You understand the team, the ups and downs. It just, the words come to you when you're writing. And I found you writing my last article. It just came to me. I understood the team. I understood what was going on. And my love for them has 18 years in the making.
Yeah, if you guys want to read Matt's articles on PC, you guys can go to sfbnri.com, check out, or on the Instagram, click the link in the bio. Many ways to get there. It's a good read. Matt's a great writer, very knowledgeable person about about Providence College. So go give it a read.
Yeah, I mean, saying how you were saying how it come just easy to you. I mean, going and reading that, you were just throwing out stats left and right. I saw I think it was almost 10 paragraphs worth, and you wrote this in almost a day. I mean, that's just
right. I mean, I was just sitting down watching the game. I had my laptop open, I was just writing down little tidbits, as the game went on, and then after the game, I turned that into my article. But I mean, again, I'm so passionate about Providence College basketball. I mean, I've been watching them for 18 years. I mean, I've been going every single game. I have season tickets. I know a lot of people in the building, Coach Cooley, all of them, Yeah, I just, I'm a super fan.
Getting a lot of people that are also super fans of seeing in the comment section, seeing Jake Knife at the Runga Go Friars, as well as Michael Orman, your cousin, who's also works at SFBNRI as a color commentator as well as a PC writer as well. So, I mean, we're definitely seeing PC run in your family too. I mean, having you work with us as well, which is great. And talk to me a little bit. How is PC looking this year come Big East play?
I mean, the postseason dance isn't looking too good right now. I'm sure COVID had a lot to do with it, not getting a training camp and all that type of stuff. But right now, if they're going to punch their ticket to the big dance, they got to, win out this season. I think they have 3 more games left. They got to win out and, make an impact in the Big East tournament and, if not win it, because that'll punch their ticket in. But right now, as much as I hate to say it, they're looking at, an NIT tournament bid. But I mean, it's better than nothing. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, especially you're talking about COVID being a big factor. I mean, you can clearly see that as you see some teams in the top 25 right now that you've never seen in the tournament, and I mean in the standings, as well as some noticeable teams such as Duke and Kentucky, North Carolina, and Kansas. At one time, were all not top 25 bids. So I mean, seeing the 4 most glorified programs in college basketball history not even being in the top 25, but then getting some others like wicked small schools. I mean, that just shakes everything up and makes March Madness that much more entertaining.
Yeah, it's going to be really, interesting this year about what's going on. You saw a team like Drake there, they made the top 25 this past week. And what you said about, those blue collar teams, the Dukes, the UNCs, Kansas, I saw a stat. It was something about them, those 4 teams not being in the top 25 for the first time since the 60s. So, it's been an unconventional year for, not only, men's basketball, but I'm sure for all sports on all levels, having to deal with all the regulations nationwide, statewide, citywide, whatever it may be. Some teams have handled it better. Some teams have, not been so great with it, but, this season's definitely going to be special on all levels, all different fields,
Yeah, I mean, come March Madness, I mean, there's always going to be 5-12, 3-14 upsets. I mean, they're bound to happen every year.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Yeah, we're going to hit a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come to our last segment of the show.
All right, we are back. Thank you for tuning into the OSA podcast, Ocean State Athlete Podcast, presented by SFB and RI. I am Nico, my co-host Chris, and we are here with our good buddy Matt Zanini of the Cranston West Falcons. Matt, you made it this far for the OSA lightning round questions. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
All right, we're gonna start with our fan favorite, your go-to gas station snack.
I'm more of a simple guy. So, just a bag of chips, that'll be good enough for me.
Like just plain chips.
Yeah, maybe sour cream and onion or barbecue, but just more of a chips guy.
Mix it up a little.
Now the next one is your favorite fast food place.
I don't know if Chipotle is considered fast food, but I definitely do like my Chipotle. When you introduced it to me, not even a year ago, but I've been going there a lot lately. I don't know if you consider that fast food. If not, maybe Wendy's. That's more of like a healthier fast food. Just get a burger, but probably Chipotle.
I gotcha. What about your favorite thing to drink besides water?
Maybe Arnold Palmer. I've been really getting into those lately. But I really like the strawberry kiwi Gatorade. Those are really good. But maybe Arnold Palmer or either that.
Mm-hmm. Great choice. If you could have dinner with anyone in the world, who would it be? You could do dead, and then you could do another one alive.
Definitely TB12. Huge New England sports fan. Sucks to see him win one in Tampa, but I'm a fan. I'm glad he got another one just to cement his GOAT status. So probably TB12.
How about dead?
Man, I don't know. That's tough. Maybe Muhammad Ali.
Great pick.
It's a different one.
One of the best athletes ever.
Right, yeah.
The next one would be, who is your favorite pro athlete currently?
Yeah, I think TB12.
Definitely.
Obviously him. But if I had to go, all the Boston side of things, Boston sports, I'm a big Jason Tatum guy or a David Pasternak guy. So either one of them, but definitely TB12.
Yeah, definitely. How about your favorite TV show?
The Office, hands down.
Hands down. How about favorite movie?
I like The Beach. So maybe like Jaws, or I do like Creed. So either one of those two.
Classic.
Creed's a good movie.
Yeah.
Now to like a bit of a deeper question. What do you value most in life?
That's a deep question. I think just friendships and family. I'm very close to my family. I love all of them. And my friendship with you guys, everyone else, I value, the people in my life a lot. I'd give anything for you two, I'd give an arm, really. So, family, friends.
Great answer. If you could eat one food and not gain any weight from it, what would you eat?
Yeah, I've been eating really crappy on this vacation, so I'm definitely packing the pounds right now. But yeah, I could always go for a slice of pizza or a burger, or a nice prime rib steak. So all those. Yeah.
Next one would be, which event in your life would you want to live through again?
Yeah, definitely either the Malcolm Butler interception or the Super Bowl 53. Not 50. I'm sorry, 51 Super Bowl against the Falcons. That was insane.
That was crazy. I remember FaceTiming you after the game, going crazy, jumping in the snow.
Yeah,
running
no,
up
it was
the block,
insane.
right? And our last question is your favorite place to travel. You could do so. Break it into two parts. So you could pick your favorite place that you've already traveled to, and then like a place that you'd like to travel to in the future.
I mean, this might not answer. I love Narragansett. That's just my happy place. So, Narragansett, just love going to the beach, being down there in the summer, all the vibes down there. And then one place I would like to travel would be Greece.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Greece is a different one. I haven't seen Greece yet. Why Greece?
I don't know. I mean, I mean, I've been seeing it pop up a lot on my like travel feed. The architecture there is really different. I don't know. I mean, all the islands there, it's beautiful. So probably somewhere over there.
Nice. But yeah, that's all we have for the questions. Chris, anything else?
No, that's all from me. I'd like to personally say thank you for coming onto the show, and hope all's going well. Hope the vacation's well. Then you can come back, write some articles, and do some more work in with SFBNRI. Hope the season goes great.
Yeah, right. I mean, I have a long travel day tomorrow, but I'm excited to get back home, obviously. And thank you again for having me, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Appreciate it, pal.
You have a good one, man.
Thank you.
All right. And for me and Nico at SFBNRI, I'd like to say thank you for everyone tuning in to tonight's show. Michael Socia and Matthew Zanini came on, had a great show. It was a great time, good talks. Nico, how about you, man?
Yeah, great show. Great couple of kids that we got to talk to. But I think that's all we got. So like I said before, thank you for tuning into the OSA podcast, Ocean State Athlete Podcast, presented by SFBNRI. Once again, I am Nico. This is my good buddy, Chris Carbone, and we will be back next Thursday, 9 to 10 for another episode. Thank you for tuning in.
Make sure you follow SFBNRI on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Make sure to also follow RI Hockey on Instagram for all your score updates, behind the scenes, and some more. I mean, you never know what else is going to come up. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Before we go, quick little update on AJ. AJ is settled in at the Shepherd Center in Atlanta. We ask you to take a moment and say a prayer for him as he begins his rehab. Thank you.